Hey there, I'm live now, I guess. This is my first time doing this, so go easy on me. Thank you very much. This was supposed to start like 5 minutes ago because Facebook. I put a link in the in the window there. This is the outline of a book on thinking alone and thinking together, which is one of my core philosophies for facilitating really powerful group conversations. And so I'm just going to take you through what I'm calling episode one. And so the first question is like, what's a creative conversation? And for me, a creative conversation is what you need to do if you need to make new things with other people, right? If you are a lone genius, God bless you. I'm so proud of you. Most of us need other people to bring our genius into the world, whether you're a designer who needs to work with a developer, or a developer that needs to work with a designer, or a marketing person that needs to work with a salesperson, or a large team that needs to get a large thing into the world. You need to have shared creativity to make something really, really great. And I think it's pretty fair to say that business as usual, BAU, is not okay anymore, right? So you need to make something better, more extraordinary. You can't do what you have always done, because that's going to get you what you have always gotten. And so for me, facilitation is a skill. These sets of things that we're going to be talking about this weekend, every week for the next, I think, at least 15 weeks or so. Is facilitation is a set of tools that can help get a group of people down a happy path. Now, I think this is going to be the case whether or not you are authorized to do this or not, right? So if you are somebody who is an authorized facilitator or an authorized leader, that's super cool. I'm very happy for you. It's going to make it a lot easier. But all of these things can still be used even if you are just a regular old team member, right? Anybody can ask a question and say, hey, well, what would it be like if we did this? Or I'm wondering, what is our goal here, and can we all write it down? So these are things that anybody in the moment can step forward and make happen. So I think of three syndromes of uncreative conversations, if you will. And the first is, one of the biggest problems is whoever speaks first sets the tone. I have a little picture here for that, right? So whoever speaks first sets the tone. So if somebody says, hey, triangle, and somebody goes, yeah, triangle, or no, not triangle. So whoever speaks first sets the tone. And that's why thinking first versus just always having a group conversation, which is what a lot of sort of habitual facilitation is like. Really being diligent about writing things down alone before we speak, thinking before we talk, can really, really help. The second is what I would call wrong room syndrome. And that's where you get that sense that you've stepped into the wrong meeting. You're like, I don't think we're solving the right problem here. I don't like the way this problem is being phrased. Or, you know, you feel like you're on the outside. Everyone else is, yeah, this is it. And you're like, I don't know, it's not right. I feel like I'm in the wrong room here. I think some of these facilitation tools can really help with solving that wrong room syndrome. And the last one is this idea, I'm a They Might Be Giants fan, and this is a picture of a plane that can never land because it's run out of gas. And I think sometimes teams have this issue where they just go in circles, right? And then we run out of time, and so we have to kick the can down the road. We don't land with action. And so I think thinking alone before thinking together and being really diligent about that kind of behavior can do three things. One is it can help us really see problems in a shared way. It can actually help us see where we have overlap. Very often I find that when groups are in this plane can never land mode and they're arguing about details, very often a very simple map of what's currently on the table, everyone just thinking for a moment, here are our three main issues. Let's map them on the wall. We can find that there's a lot of agreement. And so I feel like the plane can never land syndrome can be solved really easily with this think alone, thinking together, which helps us bring to a positive close. So one thing is helping see problems in a shared way. And I think that is one of the biggest issues with group work is if we're not seeing the problem in the same way, it's very, very hard to get to a solution. The second is just breaking up patterns. So if we're stuck in that holding pattern, the plane's running out of gas, thinking alone before thinking together can help you break up some of those patterns. And once you've done that, you can help bring groups to a positive close. And so I think, if you're in a map, all the different sort of conversations you can have, I think these tools that I'm going to be talking about every week, they go for big conversations and small conversations. So it can be, you can use all these tools even if you're just on your own, right? You can use any of these tools. You can think alone before thinking together with yourself. True story. You can do this with a one-on-one. You can do this with a coach. You can do this with your friends. It works for big meetings, small meetings, conferences. These tools, it doesn't matter if you're running a sprint or a team retrospective or a stakeholder workshop or a community collaboration session. I think these tools that we're going to be talking about apply to all of these different types of facilitation, all these different types of working together. I'm just gonna look really quickly at my outline and make sure that I'm covering everything that I wanted to cover today. And it seems like I have. So for right now, this is just week one of an experiment in trying to think out loud. So do take a look at the Google spreadsheet that is linked in the comments. That's the outline for what's ahead. I'm going to talk about opening, exploring, and closing conversations successfully. There's just one of many narrative structures for conversations that I'm going to talk about. The 4 seasons wheel, the 5 E's of experience design, the conversation pyramid, design thinking, the Drexler-Sibit process model for teams. Those are all really good narrative structures for conversations, and each of them can help you structure things really well to design a great conversation. But when you're in the room and you want to shift things, don't buy the book. Don't listen to any of the other videos. You can just think alone before thinking together. If you get people to write down what's on their mind and then get it up on a wall in some way, you're going to have a transformed dialogue. I guarantee that. Thanks very much for coming out today, and I am really excited to see you guys next week. If there are any questions or thoughts, please don't hesitate to go over to theconversationfactory.com and or drop me a line at daniel@theconversationfactory.com. Thanks very much, and I hope you have an amazing and not too snowy rest of the weekend if you're on the East Coast, and if you're anywhere else in the world, I hope you have a fine weekend. Thanks.